Everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3. And first of all, I must say I'm not really sure when I'm gonna upload this video, but I just wanted to say that sorry for the lack of videos. It's just that I haven't gotten that many new ideas of top lists or whatnot, so that's the reason why there's been a big lack of videos lately. So yeah, that's the reason why. But this video today is gonna be about cover arts, mainly awesome cover arts. I just wanted to point out movies. I mean, these movies that I'm gonna talk about, they are maybe not really the greatest films out there, but sometimes when you are a horror collector or if you're a DVD or Blu-ray, like VHS collector in general, sometimes you just pick your film based on the cover art because you think the cover art looks amazing. So these are pretty much movies that to a certain degree, I wanted to pick up not only because of the cover arts, but for the most part because of the cover arts. Because yeah. So these are just 10 random films that I picked up, which yeah, the biggest reason was I really like the covers. So the covers are really awesome into these. So. But that does not necessarily mean that they're good. That's just what I wanted to say. Now I've been mumbling for almost 2 minutes already. So let's begin right away. The first three films are actually Blu-ray releases by Arrow, and I think Arrow does so well when it comes to the cover arts to create new interesting cover arts and also you could choose to take the other cover art which was on the original cover art, if that makes sense. So first up we have Scared Stiff. This cover art is really amazing to me. I do also really like the other cover art, which has the claw type of thing on the front cover. But this one is really amazing to me with this green little light coming from that statue thing. So and this thing in the background, the monster in a mirror. So yeah, and overall, I think this movie is quite underrated as well. Like I said, not really the greatest movie around, but I think it's very underrated, and I think I have talked about this a little bit before as well. So, and if I remember correctly, I think this was the very first Blu-ray film that I bought. So yeah, that's really interesting. So yeah, Scared Stiff. Then we have this one, which I think I have been talking about with one of my friends who also agreed with me that this cover art is truly amazing. This is the slasher film called Edge of the Axe. There is another cover art which has an axe on the front cover, which didn't really feel that original to me, but this cover art is just, yeah, it's just indescribable. This is one of the best Blu-ray cover arts that I've seen, and I think the movie is quite underrated as well. And the movie itself, I would say, I think I like this movie because of the atmosphere and because of the whole 80s cheese. I mean, I know some people tend to think this is quite boring and quite dull, but I think it's more atmospheric and more charming in a way, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, Edge of the Axe, directed by the guy who did, was that Deadly Man or something, that other film he did, but I've yet to see that one, to be honest. So, then this cover art I think is really amazing as well. Okay, I think all of these cover arts are amazing, but yeah, Madhouse, Madhouse. Sorry, this I think the title isn't really saying that much. I think it's quite a boring title for a film like this because I did watch this just a couple of days ago, and I think the other title, which was called There Was a Little Girl, is more appropriate to the film. I mean, the title sounds stupid, but it makes more sense if you watch the film. That should have been the title, because there's this evil sister character and this dog of hers, which just rips people apart basically. But yeah, amazing cover art, right there, like a Rottweiler. Then a film which I have not seen yet, but this is another one of those which I think is amazing. The cover art, that is. It seems like I'm repeating myself over and over again. I think you probably pretty much know the deal at this point. But Blood Feast 2, which came out was 30 or 40 years after the first one, which is just baffling. And also that it is directed by the same guy who did the first one, Herschel Gordon Lewis, of course. I've heard this is supposed to be really, really like disgusting and gory and bloody. So yeah, looking forward to see this one. But yeah, just gonna show off the cover art a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Then we have this one, Cheerleader Camp. What to say about this cover art? This cover art has everything. Yeah, I don't know what to say really. I mean, I think the movie itself is quite stupid. Because I remember the first time I watched this, I thought it was garbage. But after a while, when you've watched so many other like micro-budgeted films from the 80s in general, this is actually not that bad. But if I remember correctly, I think some of the characters in this, they were obnoxious and annoying as hell. And I think that was the main reason why I didn't care too much for it the first time. But after a while, you're just like, oh, I want to see these people get killed off one by one. So yeah, Cheerleader Camp. Amazing cover art. Then we have a film which I'm surprised has not gotten any other release other than this particular release, because this is like a really old Region 1 DVD release from the early 2000s, I believe. And this is definitely a film that I would like to see 88 Films release under their slasher label. Evil Laugh. Yeah, not really sure. I think I have the same. I mean, this Cult Collectibles release or whatever I think it's called. I also had the Slaughterhouse DVD release, which came out like long before the 88 Films release. So that's the reason why I thought that 88 Films should release this as well. But I'm not really sure if that's ever going to happen because of the guy who directed this. He was like accused of molesting Corey Haim back in the day. So maybe this is a film that's just going to be like Clown House type of deal when you don't get like any other release just because of the whole backstory to the director. So yeah, but even anyway, I mean, Evil Laugh, it's a pretty stupid slasher film, but if you're a fan of 80s slasher films in general, go check this one out. So yeah, Evil Laugh. Then we have one of my favorite monster films of all time, really, I believe. So this is a film that I remember I watched in the middle of the night. This was like summertime, I believe, and I was really tired, but this was so soothing and so atmospheric, and I really loved it. Shad, with like the creature down there, and there you have the big city in the background, like New York City. Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. They also made a sequel to this, which has pretty much nothing to do with the first one, because the creatures in the first one, they are really amazing. I mean, you don't get to see them that often, but I think that just makes the movie even better because it gets more creepy and you just have your own interpretation of how they look like. And I think that sometimes can be more effective than showing the whole, like the big deal, even though you get to see some of these creatures in this one. The second one basically just has like these creatures that they are just called Shud, but they just look like zombies. So you can clearly tell that the sequel did not have that high budget. I mean, if you compare it to this one. But yeah, this, if you like monster films, if you haven't seen this one, go check out Shud. I think this is a really underrated classic. So yeah, Shud. Then we have a film which I actually, the last 3 films in this video is actually films that I have not seen yet. But yeah, I would say all of these 3 films I picked up mainly because of the cover arts. First up, we have The Gardener, which I think I have showed in some update video not that long ago. This is just like a slipcase. I mean, if you just do like this, you can get the other cover art right there. But I would say this cover art on the main like DVD release or whatever, or like the main case, is not as good as this one. This one is just amazing. I think I read somewhere about the... I just completely lost track, didn't I? Yeah, but anyway, The Gardener. This, if you, I mean, you can only imagine if I walked around in a DVD, Blu-ray, or like a video store back in the day. that if I would have seen this cover art, I would just buy this right off the bat, even though the movie itself might be crap. So yeah, The Gardener. Then we have a Code Red release, a film called Running Scared from the early 80s. And once again, when it comes to, I mean, most of the films that were released back in the 80s, they had some amazing looking cover arts. I mean, you don't get to see that often anymore, especially not since the late 90s. I mean, the late 90s really ruined that, because you always had these like 3 or 4 like mainstream characters on the front cover just looking like right towards you, which I think is just so boring and so lame. I mean, I know for sure that you can't like judge a film by its cover art, but this cover art is amazing. And I mean, the movie itself might be crap, I don't know, but when you have a cover art like this, you're really drawn into like you want to see what this is all about. So yeah, Running Scared. And the last one that I'm going to talk about a little bit, a film which I have not seen yet, but once again, this is another one I picked up mainly because of the cover art. Virgins of Hell, and this is like a hard box as well, German hard box. I mean, usually I'm not a big fan of German releases in general, because they tend to translate their titles into like German titles, which I'm not a big fan of. And this actually has the original title on the front cover, which is a huge plus, because if it wouldn't have had the original title, I think I would not have picked this one up. But you get the German, like, I think that's the German title underneath, maybe. Furien der Apocalypse. Probably butchered that because my German isn't really that good. But anyway, Virgins of Hell, this... I mean, if I saw this back in the day in the video store, I would have picked it up right away, even though the film might be crap, just like I said about the other 2 previous films. So yeah, amazing cover art. And actually, I don't think I have showed you guys this movie yet on any update video. So yeah, that's that. That's it for the video. I know the video itself might turn out a little bit weird, but this is just an idea that I got from, I think it was some other YouTuber that talked about amazing cover art. So if you like this video, I might continue this whole video series or whatever with other like movies with amazing cover art. So maybe I would make an opposite type of video where I show like movies with terrible cover arts as well. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed, and yeah, keep your eyes open for the next video, and see you next time. Bye bye.